Welcome to the YOGIMD podcast. It's Nadine, yoga teacher, health coach, and retired doctor, here to bring you and your body together, not in sickness, but in health. Thanks for taking this time for yourself. Welcome back, Pat. I am so happy that you are here again. Pat has generously offered some time to share with us today her experience of yoga. Pat and I have been practicing yoga together for years now. And if you remember, she was on the podcast previously. And Pat was practicing in person before the pandemic. And then she decided to practice on Zoom, not just one class, but two classes with me. So I really wanted to capture Pat's experiences and her reflections about what yoga has meant for her life and why she decided that taking the leap to try virtual yoga by Zoom made a difference for her or was worth it. So without further ado, please let's welcome Pat. Pat, how are you this morning?
Fantastic. And thank you. Thank you, Nadine, for the invitation.
I'm so grateful for you. I want to just start off by saying that.
Thank you. And I am grateful for you. Really, really. So, here's the thing. This pandemic has just thrown all of us totally off, right? And you know me, you know how much yoga means to me. It has totally changed my life. It's given me focus, more focus into who I am. It really puts me in the zone. And the thing is that I know a lot of people, people in my life think I'm a little over the top when I talk about yoga.
Why do you think that's so?
Well, because I'm so enthused about it. And I'm like, look, it changed my life. It puts me in a zone. And I mean that. I'm saying that. It's the total truth, right? And I just want everybody else to feel what I feel, to experience the same kind of changes that yoga has brought into my life.
Well, in your opinion, what do you think are some of the barriers?
Well, it could be that you just don't know what you don't know. I didn't. I had no idea. I had a totally different impression of what yoga was. The wrong impression, probably. And you know my story. I walk into a class and everyone's posing and, this, that, and the other. And there's very little instruction and it's uncomfortable for me. And actually, after a period of time, I almost felt as though I was going to hurt myself. And I was about ready to back off of yoga. And then I met you, and you were so totally different in how you did it. First of all, the main thing was letting everybody know up front at the very start of that class to do ourselves. You were like, do you. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with. And in addition to that, instead of standing there in front of the class, telling us what to do or showing us what to do, you actually went around the room, right?
Yes.
Help make adjustments and, so forth and so on. So, from that day until this, it has just really totally changed my life. I feel as if through yoga, I connect to myself. And I imagine that's the meditative part of it. Mm. The breathing, I strength train too. So what I noticed early on was that through proper breathing, it actually made me stronger during my strength training sessions.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
It's really important in terms of when you're doing your reps, your repetitions and all that. I found that it was a balance between the strain or the pain, if you will, of doing the exercise, just breathing properly. But I actually invoked yoga into my strength training.
You mentioned earlier the zone. It puts you in the zone. It allows you to connect with yourself. What does that mean to somebody who might not have been able to experience those feelings that you've described?
Well, the best way for me to put it, and it's especially important now, because when the pandemic first started and there was no yoga, after a short period of time, I could tell the difference in myself. I found myself in a real slump, no energy, pretty much no joy. And I was actually afraid of what that might do to me over time in terms of being depressed and that sort of a thing. So now that yoga is back, I'm like, especially on the days when we do yoga, on Tuesday and Wednesday, after yoga, I am in a zone. I am peaceful. I am very positive. It's like no one can bring me down. I'm focused. I'm able to say, okay, here's what I need to do today. It gives me that connection to myself, and it just, I don't know, brings me alive almost.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Did you have any reservations about doing the class virtually using Zoom?
No. I had no idea. I couldn't imagine it really. But I had been without yoga. So I was so all in to see what could be. And here's the thing, the in-person yoga, a big part of that is not just the class itself, but the people around you. It's that interaction with people, right? Something that we're all missing now through the pandemic. We're realizing how important it is, that person-to-person experience. So, okay, we have our first class. And here's the thing. As soon as we all connected, I was so happy to see everyone. And by the end of that very first class, you know what? I kid you not. I almost forgot that I was in my living room by myself.
So you were still able to feel that sense of community, even though it was virtual?
Absolutely. And again, that first session, and even now, even though it's every week, that first session, I was just so happy the minute everybody started getting situated, the minute you start seeing people, and so for right now, I feel like virtual yoga is the second best thing to actually being in person. And the advantage for me, and I'm going to tell you a little secret, when we're in person yoga, no matter what, every now and then, if you think maybe you're not doing something exactly right, you kind of want to just peek over and see what other people are doing. Which, of course, is not necessarily a good thing because it's all about you, and you're not in competition with the people around you, right?
Yes.
So now with virtual yoga, that's no longer an issue.
Now, that is a surprising benefit that I had not thought about, to be honest with you.
Well, and that's our secret. Because you didn't know, beforehand, that every now and then I might doubt, okay, are you really doing this correctly? And then just maybe kind of look over. Well, the other thing too, and I was just thinking about this yesterday, virtual yoga is becoming, other than just not being in person, I'm seeing no difference at all. I am seeing absolutely no difference at all. And that wasn't necessarily the case at the very beginning. But the way I know that is the way it is now is because, get this, Nadine, you are so good. And one of the things I like about you is that you don't treat us like seniors. You challenge us. A lot of people that you go to for different services, even like in strength training, as you age, they kind of tamp things down a little bit. It's like, well, you're a little bit older now, so maybe you can't do this. Well, you challenge us. And I think that's very important because if you don't challenge us, then we might also get that same mindset. Oh, well, I'm getting a little bit older now. Maybe I shouldn't try this, or maybe I can't do that. You've always challenged me. And realistically, maybe about 10 or 15 minutes before the class is over, I would usually, in person yoga, I would usually say to myself, okay, I'm ready for this to be over. I'm feeling the strain.
No strain, no gain.
Right. And so I can't say that it was necessarily true at the very beginning of virtual yoga, but I'm telling you now, I find myself ready to look at the clock and say, okay, what time is it? So, and it's a good strain, right? You know that it's working. It's not just a mental thing. It's also the physical thing. I consider yoga to be a complement to my physical strength.
Well, what I will say is this. Thank you for sharing that perspective first. Secondly, I believe in you. That's why I don't treat you all with kid gloves. Of course, I ask you to take precautions always and honor your body because we don't occupy the same bodies.
Right.
We don't even occupy the same body on the same day necessarily. So yoga invites you to pay a lot of attention and to work, because it is work, challenging yourself, but not crossing over into the land of pain, which is unnecessary. That's why the mantra is no strain, no gain, not no pain, no gain. And because I believe in you, it's my hope that you can also believe in yourself and see what you're capable of doing in class. And that becomes a practice that you can take out into your daily life as well.
And you're so right. And so let me tell you a little story. Before the pandemic, I had regular appointments with a massage therapist. And ordinarily, I would park right in front of her house. She does it out of her home. And she can see you when you come and you park and all that. And, she's waiting for you. She opens the door for you and all that. The last time that I saw her, I parked a little ways away so that I could walk, as opposed to just getting right out, When I was leaving after the session was over, she was like, so where did you park? Did you walk up the street? And I said, absolutely, I did, And she was like, I was looking for you. Yeah, I mean, what if something happened to you? You could trip and fall or something like that. And I couldn't see you. And so I'm thinking, excuse me? Hello.
How interesting.
Hello. And so I said, I had to tell her. I said, look, I do yoga, right? And I said, my instructor, I told her about you. I said, look, one of the things that she focuses on, because I am a senior, but mind you, I'm not your typical 70-year-old. Hello, Marcia. That's her name. I said, it's balance. We focus on balance. And I said, so I don't think I'm going to trip and fall, but should I trip and fall? Guess what? I know exactly how to get up. There are just not a lot of instructors out there like you at all. At all. And I'm very grateful for that. But here's the thing about virtual yoga. Just think, over time, I tend to forget what I learned. So were it not for virtual yoga, perhaps I couldn't even say that to her today. If she said to me, I look out my window, I can't see you if you park far away. So what happens if something happens to you? I would not have been able to tell her without yoga, oh, you don't have that to worry about. So thanks to virtual yoga, I'm remembering everything now. Everything has come back to me, and that's important. And if we had to do this forever, not a problem for me. Because again, that interaction with people, I still get it. It's not the exact same. You can't touch people, but you can talk to people. We can talk to one another through virtual Zoom, right?
Oh, for sure. And we do
Yeah,
make time for
yeah,
fellowship because that's an
yeah.
important part of
Right,
class.
right. So, I mean, this is absolutely fine for me. And I actually see some advantages, over and above the in person.
I was just going to ask you, what are some other advantages that you've noticed being at home practicing in your living room?
Well, I mean, I love getting out, true enough. But what could be better than just being right here, not even having to walk out your door? And if you really just don't care, you don't have to do anything to get ready.
That's true. That's true. There was that joke going around for a while when all of this started where people were saying that from the waist up, you were dressed
Right.
up, but from the waist down, you're in shorts or whatever.
Well, we can't exactly do that, but yeah. But you get it, right? Absolutely.
Yes, yes.
I mean, and again, um, initially I thought, well, what if I'm doing something wrong? It's not like being in the room with Nadine. She may not be able to point it out and all that, but you have actually mastered that because you know that only having a certain number of people, you can see everyone and you can make corrections. But I've gained more confidence in my form and how I'm doing things. And I feel like I know even better now what I'm doing.
That is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Well, Pat, I have a very interesting spin on my usual last question, which is this. I usually ask everyone, what is your definition of what it means to be healthy? Can you please tell us what it means to be healthy now during the pandemic and what it meant pre-pandemic to you?
I took it for granted before the pandemic, in particular with the yoga and how good it made me feel, how conscious it made me feel, how relaxed and tranquil and focused I would feel. I took it for granted. I became used to it. And then with the pandemic, when I started to feel so down, I realized just how much it centered me and it kept me in a real good place emotionally because by nature, I'm a worrier. I worry about, the people around me, and it's a little much, I think. And yoga always calmed me down. It gave me a positive focus. Everything's going to be okay. It's just really been like a centerpiece in my life. And I didn't have that until virtual yoga. So now I feel like I'm just back to being the better me.
I wonder though, for the people who are not able to get out, who were not able to get out even before. So someone who might have been homebound because of whatever reason, she can't drive, or she has a chronic illness that precludes her from being able to get out very easily, or she doesn't have access to transportation. I just wonder if this is an opportunity virtually to still have something to look forward to, something to hang on to, something to stave off feeling depressed and isolated, and still being able to take advantage of a community.
Absolutely. I think it would be perfect. And you took the look forward to, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I've always looked forward to it, and I still do in the same way. The night before yoga, I look forward to it. And I've gotten into this really bad sleep pattern in terms of it's not like I have to get up and go to the gym like before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staying up very late into the night. But now, Monday, I'm focused toward, well, okay, you've got to go to bed at a certain time so you can get in your hours and get up in time to do yoga. And I just, that it would be so beneficial for people who are homebound. This is something they can do, especially with the chair yoga. Absolutely. Just give it a try.
And if you're not sure, I'm offering these 15-minute one-on-one personal orientation sessions on Zoom to get comfortable.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Okay. Well, send me the information and I can pass it along, right?
Absolutely. I would love that. I would love
that. Thank you, Nadine, for everything, really. You are truly a gift from God for me.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I feel exactly the same way.
Thank you.
Namaste, Pat.
Have a great day.
You too. And now it's time for the Mindful Minute. This is an arm strengthening routine based on Warrior 1 and Warrior 2. Sit tall in your chair with your feet flat on the floor, toes pointing forward, knees stacked over ankles, shoulders stacked over hips, neck lengthened with the top of your head touching the ceiling. Relax the muscles in your face, jaw, and shoulders. Drop your arms down by your sides. Exhale. Inhale to raise your arms straight up with your palms facing one another. Fingertips reaching for the ceiling. Keep your head straight ahead or lift your gaze slightly towards the ceiling if you wish. Exhale to drop the arms down slowly to shoulder height and turn your head to the right, gazing at your fingertips. Inhale to lift your arms again, looking straight ahead or slightly up with your fingertips touching the ceiling. Exhale, bringing your arms down to shoulder height and turning your head to the left, gazing at your left fingertips. Repeat as many times as you wish. And if you're curious to find out more about how I teach, please see my YouTube channel. The link is on my website at yogimdnet to get a better idea. Thanks for being here. See you next time.
Yoga has had such a profound impact on my life. It's almost hard to describe. I would say in every conceivable way. I've connected to my mind, and through my mind, my body. It's truly something that I can't live without at this point. I've had yoga before Nadine, but through Nadine, I've decided that it's something I need to do for my lifetime.
To learn more and to practice with me, find me at yogimdnet.